Salam, shalom. Why Salah speaking. First one in, let me know if I'm clear. I want to start right away. Like I said, first one in, let me know if I'm clear. Okay, you said I'm good. Of course, you guys see the title. I'm going to give y'all all a chance to get in here. I'll start in the 2-minute mark. Subscribe to the channel. Click that thumb. We're about to get into some deep scholarship. If you're in here and you're a Muslim, or you follow Islam, yeah. Like I said, if any of y'all are Islamic followers, Muslims, what is a non-believer according to Islam? Or, according to, if you're Islamic, maybe y'all all have a different perspective of what a non-believer is, but I want to get the answer according to, someone that's a follower of Islam. What is a non-believer to an Islamic person? Now, let's start here. If you're a Muslim or part of any religion, I want you to ask yourself, did you study and understand the religion or the God in it before you joined the religion? Or did you join and convert to the religion and then begin to study and learn? Most people, of course, probably all religious people, they join the religion before they learn anything truly about the religion. Or they join the religion before they learn anything about the God in the religion. And this is not the proper way to do things. This is not a path of one seeking truth or, things of that nature. Meaning when you're dealing with religion, you're dealing with people who are followers, not necessarily those seeking to build a relationship with God or anything like that. They're followers. This is why they didn't learn anything prior to converting. Now, the point I'm making is, if you're someone in religion, whether it's Islam or Christianity, you didn't join the religion for any truthful reason. So there's no truth that's going to make you leave it. I'll say that again if that didn't register with a lot of y'all. Truth didn't lead you to the religion. You decided to join the religion for whatever reason you did, but it didn't have anything to do with you being well versed in the scriptures of the religion. Meaning you had no true knowledge of the religion, and most people in religions, being as though they didn't have to have any or pass anything to be a part, most don't have any knowledge on the religion that they're in. And so I'll say again, if you join the religion for no reason, ain't no reason gonna make you leave it. If you didn't join the religion for purposes of truth, ain't no truth gonna make you leave it. Meaning those in religions are not seeking truth in a relationship with God. They're seeking to be accepted by something. A lot of people feel displaced, and they're feeling displaced. So you get my point. They look to be a part of anything that will accept them. When you're dealing with religion, there's no standards. There used to be, I suppose, but there aren't any. There aren't any now. It's just a numbers game. Christianity versus Islam, and who can get more followers. But in that, the religion itself is being sold out. Where you have a bunch of people in the religion, but none of the people in the religion know anything about the religion truly. And so it's a deep thing I want you guys to grasp. It's not about being a follower or looking to be. I apologize. Connection ain't that great out here. Someone let me know if I'm clear still. Now, like I was saying, many people feel displaced or, not a part of anything. And when that happens, people seek to align themselves with anything. But the only thing you need to be looking to align yourself with it is the truth. Now, John Connor, you said, is Islam control? Okay, I'm not sure what you're saying, but I'm assuming you're saying you're in whatever religion you're in because of your parents. Most people, like I said, are in the religion for no real reason. There was no truth that led them there. They were either born into it because their parents were it. They either liked how something looked in the religion. Maybe the religion is popular, so they joined, but it had nothing to do with, them knowing anything about the religion. When you join something, you learn what it is before you join. Study up on the thing, make sure the thing is of truth before you join. When you're dealing with religions, people don't do that. They just join and they convert from one religion to the next. But in regards to them learning anything, they're programmed. Meaning most people in religions, they know the programming of the religion. The things that they hear a bunch of times. And it becomes a program. Meaning y'all become programmed once y'all get into these religions, and then you get it. Y'all speak the program and can't speak beyond that. And so if the shoe fits, well, wisdom starts with the honor one has with their own self. If you can't be honest to yourself, you can't expect to receive in any truth or honesty. You have to start with self. If you lying to yourself, how you gonna receive in the truth or accept it? And so when you're dealing with the truth and accepting the truth, there has to be truth within, meaning you have to be on a vibration of truth, not on a vibration of I want to be a part. Or I'm dependent on this person, and if I don't want to be in their religion, then they're gonna, you get it? You don't want to get lost into those things, matters of force. Peace and wisdom, Melissa Morton. Thank you for the love. Now, I may have to stop this video short because it's kind of rainy. It hasn't started, but it did. Then it stopped. Now it's looking like it's going to start again. But wherever I stop at, I'll just continue on in the part 2. Now, when you're dealing with Islam, I want to start first with non-believers. What a non-believer is. When you're dealing with Islamic followers, they believe that a non-believer is somebody that does not believe in Allah or their God. Someone who is not a believer in their religion. Now, I want to be clear. When you're speaking of non-believer in any circumstance, I wouldn't care if you're speaking about religion, anything, meaning a non-believer goes beyond Islam. A non-believer is someone who does not believe the truth. A non-believer isn't someone who does not believe Allah or believe in Islam, because those things don't come before truth. The foundations of anything is truth, and then from there you get my point. In that, if you ask an Islamic person what's a non-believer, and they tell you someone who doesn't believe in Allah or Islam, well, they forgot about the truth. They should have told you a non-believer is someone who does not believe in the truth. There is nothing else. Unless you're going to tell me the truth and your God are two separate things. And so do you get my point? People get lost into the religions and they forget about truth and the point of things. And so in the past, before it became a matter of believers and non-believers, you had a thing called the truth. Again, belief is not the truth. You have a belief system and someone doesn't believe in your belief. That has nothing to do with anything. Belief in non-believer is the same thing. Someone who does not have truth. If you believe something, well, you wasn't given the truth of it. And if you don't believe something, well, same difference. And so before man got lost into belief and made belief truth, because you have truth, you have belief, and then you have lie. Belief is in between lie and truth. But truly, belief is a lie. It's an extension of lie. It's lie spread out. You know, truth is forever. Lie ain't. But belief is like when you make a lie forever, like the truth. And that, you have people who have been believers in religions for thousands and thousands of years, but in regards to the religion manifesting as a truth of any sort, well, do you get my point? When does one graduate from being in the religion and worshiping the religion for the most part and then having a direct line with God? Like that. Belief is when you stretch lie out so long, it lasts as long as the person is fake within themselves or lie filled within themselves. And so there is no belief, there's just lie and truth. Belief being an extension of lie. And so when you deal with the truth of things, a non-believer is someone who does not believe the truth. Your religion is not a truth, it's a belief that the believer is waiting to become a truth. The believer never gets to the truth because they already accepted something in its place, which is their belief. And they're getting a believer to understand that. Well, that's a deep thing. You get my point? A believer say, no, I do believe in the truth, but they believe in their religion and the people of it. In regards to God, do you get my point? There never was no connection with God. There was just connection with the world. This is the religion, the groupings of people who did not study up or learn their religion before they joined. So they have no reason to study up or learn it now. And so it's a deep thing I want you guys to grasp. You have truth in the past, and then you have a bunch of lies being made up and people being asked to believe in these lies. And so you can say at first a non-believer would have been anybody who didn't believe in truth. But then when the truth was knocked out the way and all you had left was belief and lie, which is truly one and the same, then a non-believer becomes someone who does not believe. But believe has nothing to do with the truth. And so it's a deep thing I want you all to grasp. A non-believer is the religious people, whether you speak in Muslims, Christians, any religion you could think of. But in regards to Islam being as though it's used in Islam, then do you get my point? A non-believer in Islam is truly the Islamic follower because they don't believe in the truth. They believe in belief. Now, everything I just said is the truth. Undeniable. But let's see if an Islamic person accepts it. Or do they continue on like they've been doing? Like that. It's a deep thing. House of God. Christianity and Islam is the same thing. Sorry you don't know that. Both religions have the same characters. So you go figure. Now, hopefully those of y'all that are, Islamic followers, you grasp. A non-believer is yourself. A non-believer is somebody that doesn't believe in your religion, which is a belief. But a non-believer is somebody who doesn't believe in the truth when they hear it. And so you get my point? This is not limited to your religion or any religion. Like I said, once you fall into a religion, well, you can view yourself as a non-believer if you understand that the only thing to believe in is the truth. And the truth is always present. Now, I want to explain one more thing before I give y'all the history of Islam, so you be clear on what you're following. Now, in Christianity and, Islam too, I suppose, you have a phrase of the false prophet. Of course, you have many false prophets according to religions. Most people think a false prophet is a person. A false prophet is the books, but y'all live in the times of the false prophet. So you get my point? When the false prophet was being prophesied, this was before the times of books, and they were prophesying about a book. And how a book would be a false prophet, meaning a prophet is someone who speaks words, a person. A book does not speak any words, but it contains words. You get my point? You listening to me speak? Well, I'm a real person. I'm speaking. If someone gives you a book and they say this was written by Solace, but you can't prove it, do you get it? False prophet. The book is taken like a person. So in the daytimes, y'all speak like God is a book. You get it? Like that. The book becomes truth almost. Or it becomes more than the prophet. Man reads about prophets in today times, but in regards to listening to said prophets, well, do you get my point? Y'all read about Muhammad, the prophet. Y'all didn't hear the prophet Muhammad. It's a big difference. And so that's what they were speaking of when they were prophesying about false prophets beginning to emerge. They were speaking about the many books that we have who that do not have an author. If I ask you guys who wrote the Bible, y'all don't know. You say King James, this thing or that thing, but y'all don't know. If I say who wrote the Quran, y'all don't know. Y'all don't. It don't have no author. It's just a book. And so, do you get my point? I stay with groupies, man. I can't do nothing in peace. Yeah, I'm gonna get to your babbling right quick, John Connor. I'm sorry, Tanner, whatever your name is. You said we Muslims believe in all might, in all might God with truth. You're not making sense. You're speaking programs. Like I said, you're not speaking truth of any sort. You're speaking programming. So you say Allah. Well, you didn't say Allah. You said we Muslims believe in Almighty God with truth. That doesn't make any sense. Truth is when something is spoken, it will either hold to be true or not. What you just said is just what you just said. It's like I said, once you get lost in the religion, you kind of abandon the truth. In that, you just start speaking a bunch of programmings. You said there are infinite number of evidence of presence of God in the universe. This is not a conversation about if God is not real or not. This is a conversation about your religion is a lie. Again, y'all are programmed, so you're not making sense according to the conversation. Again, you said there are infinite number of evidence of presence of God in the universe. Besides all evidence, we have the Quran, the utmost miracle. See how he said a book, but a book is just something that was written by a man. And was the man just? They don't know. In that, do you see how everything he's saying, it makes no sense. It's just programming talk. And so pay attention to these things because this is what happens to people that get lost into religions. Now, I didn't say anything about there not being a higher power over all things, but I said the religion that y'all in is not true. You know it's not true because y'all didn't learn anything about the religion before you joined it. You didn't say anything in regards to the religion. You're just speaking. You said, do you deny reality of Islam? Islam is a real thing in life, but Islam is false. The people in Islam are false. Like yourself, you have no wisdom on Islam. You're just babbling, but you're not taking a moment out to pay attention to that. You're trying to convince. You're trying to do what happened to you when you came into Islam. But in regards to you actually teaching me something about Islam, now you can't. I know more about Islam than you, but I'm just saying you're manipulating talking, convincing me talking. You're not providing any proof of anything. You said it's real because of a book. That don't mean anything. You said, how can I prove my claim? You don't even know what my claim is. You see my point? You're just talking in regards to your ears working. Well, call it a religious thing. But in regards to my claims, I claim that y'all don't know anything about the religion y'all in because y'all didn't look into nothing before you joined it. You joined it before you was given any truth about it. Now, you be honest with yourself. Then you don't have to ask me how can I prove my claim. I already did. There ain't a Muslim breathing that's going to say I studied and looked into Islam deeply before I joined. Y'all don't even know it now. You're a part of it now and you still haven't read the whole Quran. And so how can your actions be fake and false, but the religion is sturdy and the religion consists of a bunch of people like you who don't truly know the religion and never read the book. They just babble programmings. And so that's how I prove my claim that the religion is false. You don't have to prove anything to be a part of the religion. You don't have to study. You don't have to do anything. You can just claim it. There's no one to even check, like, if you're in any records of any sort. It's a falsehood. Is that clear enough, Tainer? Peace and wisdom, holy Zoli Toli. Now, don't get offended and don't get nervous. But, accept the truth of things. That being your truth. You joined the thing and know nothing of it. And you seek to manipulate and convince others to be a part of it. But in regards to you actually teaching them anything or proving anything you're talking about, well, you're just dealing with programming. You said that is the greatness of the Quran. You see how you're not making any sense in regards to what I said? I said you joined the religion, but you didn't know nothing about it, and you still haven't read the whole Quran before you joined it. You didn't acknowledge that truth and say, yes, you're right. You went into what religious people do, which is start lying, or they start deflecting and going around what was said, which is an expression of lie. Now, how can a liar, I'm using you as an example so you can see through your own self, how do you know you a liar, but you're speaking of this religion you were part of as a truth? All religious people, they lie for their religion, or they start trying to cause confusion and chaos in regards to any conversation concerning it when they get to a point where truth is presented. He said same thing is also true for other religions. You see the deflection? He's never acknowledged if what I said in regards to him and other religious people is true or not. You see how he refuses to acknowledge the truth. I'm saying that so y'all could see he's a liar. Many people like that. They will accept a lie. They will repeat a lie. But then when you hit them with a truth, watch how they refuse to acknowledge, like, yeah, you're right. That is a truth. I'm saying that so y'all could grasp. The religion ain't got nothing but liars in it. The religion is based on lie. Otherwise, you explain to me, why is he dancing around the truth that was said? It's a simple truth. If you a religious person, you joined the religion before you knew it was any truth. You joined it because you just did for no reason, truly. Or you was born into it. Or you're dependent on somebody that's a part of it. It has nothing to do with you studied and came to a conclusion that it was true before you joined. In that, that's the end of the conversation, truly, if you want to be technical. But so truth is a thing that man don't accept when he get lost in religion. So it becomes a whole lecture. But truly, anybody with truth would say, okay, you're right. That is how it happened for me. And most people I know, same thing. Like, we was born into this thing or this thing or that thing. And that you don't have to question, like, if your religion is true or not. How can it be true? Now, you said, have you ever read the whole Quran? I'm about to explain your whole religion to you, man. Let me be crystal clear. Yeah, in the hadiths that may not be accepted, you have different types of Muslims. So y'all all don't accept the same writings. You know how people do. People think if they discredit this book or discredit that book, it make their book more real or something like that. I don't know. But you get my point? To answer your question, yes, in the Bible as well, in the other books that are not accepted. You get my point? Christianity's like Islam. You got many different sections, and everybody likes to accept whatever they do. The point I'm making is this: there's no one breathing that would study up on religion, read the book, get an understanding of the book, whatever the religion is, and still be a part of the religion. The religion only gonna get the people that ain't true. Meaning they ain't gonna look into the thing, they ain't gonna learn nothing about the thing, even when they are a part of it. That's all you gonna get in a religion. Because anybody that take out the time, they gonna see clear as day. Oh yeah, this is not true. This is not truth. The actions of the people in the religion is lie. God having a name is a lie. You get my point? It's all lie. It's all an exploitation of something real and, deep. Vuclair said, I turned Muslim because of Quando Rondo. This is what I mean. Y'all are idolizers. Y'all idolize people, and so y'all influence to do things and join things. And so again, the religion ain't of truth. It's a place in a net to catch liars. Same with Christianity. It's not something that brings you closer to God. It's a trick to catch whoever's not truthful. And all that's caught will be sacrificed to, you could say, the great liar. So let's say you have a great liar in life. Let's call this liar Shaitan or Satan. And this beast likes to eat consciousness. See how every night you fall asleep and your consciousness gets sucked up by something called unconsciousness? Like that. This liar loves to eat souls, consciousness. And so here we are all in life, and our bodies will perish, but not our consciousness. But that consciousness can be fed the lie if we accept lie. You follow? So y'all think like y'all in life so that y'all could learn about life. Y'all in life so y'all could be sacrificed to this beast. And you're going to be sacrificed when you start accepting lie or get caught up in the net of lie, which is the religion. It's like a net for sacrifice. This all goes back to Loki. Your ancient Norse people's god. This is why in the Bible it says, well, in the Torah, which is before the Bible, it says in the beginning, Elohim. Elohim is a Loki, plural. El is just the spelling of the letter L. So Elohim would be Lokim. Like I said, El is just the spelling of the letter L. In that Elohim, it's just Lokim. And Lokim is plural for Loki. And Loki is the god of lie and mischief. It's a trickster god. And so I'll say again, religion just got to do with that. Separating the lying souls from the truthful ones, and then the lying ones get sacrificed to whatever they thought they was following. There you go, Nod. Nod. It's Elohim. If you read the Torah, it says Elohim, not Elohim. But Elohim is fine. It's all a low-key thing. It's all a lower thing. When I say lower, I'm speaking like the lower in Santeria, or like Yoruba, the LOA, the lower is speaking of, the spirit, so to say. But they liars. And so it's a deep thing. John Connor said, in the beginning, the Elohim created the heavens and the earth. The gods created the heavens. Like I said in the Torah, it says, in the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was without shape and void. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. Alone. This is the story of Satan. He was cast out of heaven, thrown into the darkness. Yah religion starts from the beginnings of Yah God, which is the devil. So we start in the beginning, in dark space, in the middle of an absolutely nowhere. There was this spirit hovering. The same way in the Bible it says Satan was just flying through the air. I saw Satan fall from heaven like lightning. Blood was just falling through the air. Do you get it? It's all simple. Y'all worship the damn devil, but now have no truth in y'all. So you get my point? It all makes sense. He said, like Thor's brother Loki. Yeah, y'all live in a society where everything y'all watch is a matter of religion. So y'all Marvel comics is ancient Norse religion. And some of it's ancient Greek religion. You follow? And it's all to influence y'all one way or the other in regards to religion. Because religion, well, this is the place that's sacrificing over the souls. And this is why the dead is buried in the church. It all goes back to ancient times with priest and sacrifice and things of that matter. But I don't want to get too far off the topic, which is, me explaining Islam to y'all. Peace and wisdom, Melissa Morton. I'm laughing at. There you go, Holy Zoli. Religion is for those who lost themselves. The only way to find God, you have to find yourself. If you don't find yourself, you're not going to find God. Meaning you can't find God and skip over yourself. You have to find you. When I say find you, I mean through all them lies. Y'all have lie in y'all mind. Y'all have things that y'all believe that is the truth. That's lies. It's many layers of lies caked up on your mind or your soul. And so finding self got to do with finding the truth. And behind the true self is this powerful force or whatever y'all seeking out truly. But y'all being led to worship something else outside of self, against self. Holy Zoli said they believe in God, but the same book in Psalms 83 says, ye are gods. God is just a word to describe something, but y'all have no clue what that thing that's being described is being spoken of. So when y'all be speaking and using these names, this is where I wonder, is there anything left? Your mind is your soul, but you get my point? This could be blotched out. So I say, is there anything left? Meaning, you're speaking of God. But if I ask you, what exactly is that word speaking of in reality? You don't know. You're going to say whatever you think or whatever you want it to. But in regards to you having a know of what you're talking about, well, you ain't even really begin to think on that. Like, what exactly is this God this word God I'm using, what is it talking? What is it referring to? I have a name. That name is a reference to me. You got a name that you use called God. Who is that talking about? Because that's a title. Who exactly or what exactly is being spoken of? Y'all have no clue. But y'all will have the conversation. You get it? Meaning y'all will have the conversation on absolutely nothing. Before y'all have understanding, y'all will have a conversation on something. And so it's a deep thing. Y'all are life in life being tested to see if you deserve it. Look at life as light. Light is consciousness, being awake and alive. And look at lie like darkness in death. There's darkness on the soul or lie. So you get my point? Ain't no night in truth. Ain't no darkness in truth. Ain't no lie in truth. And some souls don't understand that. They think a thing could be halfway true. I know something. That's not enough. Now, righteousness for y'all said a lot of people don't think life is fair, but I don't believe that. What about you? Life is fair when you're fair. Most people are unfair, so life is unfair to them. Everything is a balance. Those that are unfair, you get my point? They have an unfair perspective, so they're going to see life as unfair. They're going to see everything as unfair because they have an unfair perspective. If a person's perspective is fair, so they will see things fairly. In regards to unfairness, well, it takes two to tangle. No one can treat you unfairly unless you accept it. Unless you allow it. Ooh, we almost caught that bird. I saw that. Yeah, no one can treat you unfairly unless you accept them into your life to treat you unfairly. And so it's all on, it's like I said, ain't no victims and ain't no mistakes in this life. But you get my point? People will play whatever hand they're allowed to. Holy Zoli said, is that why the moment you denounce the belief in life, it becomes wealthy? Not sure how what you just said makes any sense to you, but maybe you write it another way or explain to me how that makes sense to you. Vauclair said some people like to say God is everything. It's like saying they don't know what God is. What you think? If I say something everything, then basically I have no clue what I'm talking about. So that's the easiest way to just like blow you off. That's blowing you off talk. What's God? Everything. Okay. What are we talking about then? I'm asking you, if God is everything, then what are we talking about? God, the one and only, the most high, but God is everything. So what are we even talking about when you consider that? You tell me. And so most people don't take a time out to reflect or like, scan through their reality and their truth. Like what they accept that they hold as truth in. They just kind of follow. You'll start to notice that with most people. They're just followers. Now I'm gonna start shortly. Give me a moment to take a quick little, tinkle. That's a restroom break. Salam, shalom. I'm back. Let me know if you guys can hear me still. I apologize. Okay, everything's good. Now, when you're dealing with Islam and Christianity and Judaism was all one religion. They're all they're the three Abrahamic religions. Abraham is, you get it? You can say the father of all three of the religions. So that means at one point in time, all three religions was basically one religion, or there was one understanding, and over time, it became three religions. But of course, when it became three religions, you got to understand that one understanding became something different. Meaning the three different religions, they think they got something different against each other, but they all come from the same source or the same knowing, so to say. And so when you're dealing with Abraham had followers. So you can view Abraham like your first cult leader. Abraham has his followers. Of course, this is his people, meaning his descendants, as well as those that follow him. And like I always tell you guys, Abraham, he is the father or the progenitor of the Arabic people, your different Arabs, your different Arab nations. Of course, Abraham was a Mesopotamian. This is basically the Middle East. But before you have all those countries in the Middle East, in that you get my point, Abraham's coming from a developed country long ago in the Middle East area. And he's leaving his father's land to start his own. So look at it like a colonizing thing. Your father's the king of a place. He's a citizen of a place, and he tells you to go find your own place and develop a whole nation and country like this one. You get my point? And so when Abraham leaves his country, his nation of people, of course, he comes into contact with indigenous people, or what Islamic people would call Bedouins, basically indigenous people that are not civilized yet. And of course, the place that they're roaming around in is not developed. There's no buildings or anything yet. And so Abraham is coming into contact with indigenous people and beginning to start his own nation. Of course, whatever Abraham is, nationality wise, when he mixed breeds in with these indigenous people, create a new line of people. Kind of like when the people from Italy and Spain came to the Americas, they mixed breeded in with the indigenous people, and then they created a new line of people, a mixed breed that we call Puerto Ricans now. But you get my point? And so this is how the Arab people came into existence. Just like African Americans came into existence when the Dutch, the English, and the people of the far north came to the Americas, and you get my point? Developed it up, named it New Amsterdam and things. Named it New Amsterdam and things like that. And this is how we get our nationality and our start, so to say. Going from indigenous people to a people that are civilized and, are referred to as something you can say. Now that's Abraham. Like I said, Abraham, you could say he's like the first cult leader, and he's the progenitor of the Arab people. Now after Abraham is his grandson Jacob. Jacob was renamed Israel, and he's the progenitor of the Israeli people. Israelites, Israeli, same thing. Of course, Jacob would be whatever Abraham is. So let's say Jacob's an Arab, because all the people that come from Abraham, this is your Arabs. So Jacob's an Arab, but he mixed breed with another group of people. And you get my point? From there, you get Israelis. They're like Arabs, but not all the way. Or at least they don't want to see it that way. And so like I said, Jacob, he's the progenitor of the Israelites, or the Israeli people. They're like the Arabs, but they're not the Arabs. And of course, Jacob, or Israel, is those people's gods. So he's like a cult leader, just like Abraham is the God of those people that follow him and are his descendants. They view him as their God, just like the Israelis would have viewed Israel as their God. This is Jacob. When you get to Judah, which is one of Jacob's son, this is when you get to religion. This is when a cult leader basically becomes a religion, meaning when people start worshiping and following the cult leader and they're not even nowhere around him, he ain't even alive no more. Like that. And so this is where you get Judaism, from those that follow Judah and his line of people, which would be the Jews that y'all see today with the curly sideburns. So it's a Middle East thing. You have Arabs, Israelis, and the Jews over there, but they look like white people. So you get my point? From there you get Judaism, meaning it grows bigger than Judah. And so you have one religion now, meaning you have the truth, or this knowledge that Abraham had that was passed down to Jacob and Judah. And now it's turned into a religion called Judaism or Judaism. Now, how you get Christianity and Islam is like this. Of course, after Judah, you have Moses. Moses freed the Hebrews from Egypt. When you're dealing with ancient Egypt, they basically had a religion that was similar to what we would call Islam today, where they worshiped the calf or a bull on a box. So there's a ancient Egyptian image of a bull on a box and people worshiping it. Kind of like how in the daytimes when you're dealing with Muslims, they have the Kaaba or that box, and then they all worship around it. And of course, you have the crescent moon above the Kaaba. The crescent moon is like the bull's horns. So in the past, if this was the past, Muslims would worship the Islamic symbol wouldn't be what we call a crescent moon, but it would just be a whole bull with the bull horns on top of the bull, and the bull horns looks like a crescent moon. It's a calf worship thing. If you're lost, when Moses freed the Hebrews from Egypt and he brought them out into the wilderness, and he went up to the mountain to talk to God. When he came back, they had made a golden calf and started worshiping it again. You get my point? If you're an Islamic person, like I said, in the past, you would have been worshiping a calf, a bull. Not what you call a crescent moon as your symbol, but your symbol would have been a bull on a box. And what you call a crescent moon is truly bull horns. And they go all the way back to that ancient Egypt worship, where they worshipped, Allah, basically, or Allah. Even when you're dealing with your Sumerians, the first god in ancient Sumer is Allah, Alalu, pronounced Al-Allah, Alala, or Al-Al. So it's always the same god, but over time things change somewhat. Now, Moses frees the Hebrews from Egypt. Now they're wandering in the desert. Like I said in the text, it says Moses went up into the mountain to speak to God for 40 days or so. And when he came back, the Hebrews had made a golden calf and started worshiping it, basically worshiping like how they used to back in ancient Egypt. So, of course, Moses, I believe it says the Levites, because, when you're dealing with the Hebrews, you have many different Hebrews. The Levites, these different, different sections of Hebrew, but Moses is kind of leading them all. I believe it was the Levites, meaning Moses slaughtered like 10,000 Hebrews, but the only ones that stepped up was the Levites. So he sent them out to slaughter the rest. And amongst all the Hebrews, like 10,000 of them got slaughtered. You can go back and read the biblical text. Like I said, most people in religions, they never read the text. But when you're reading the book, what is that? Exodus, I think. Whichever book has to do with Moses, if you read it right after the calf, after the Hebrews started worshiping the calf, Moses came down, slayed his brother, and then he gathered up, whatever Hebrews he could, and they went out into the camps and they slaughtered like 10,000 Hebrews, man, woman, and child. And this is how you got what we know as Christianity, or what we would know as Islam. This is the beginnings of Muslims. And you can say those who are a Judaist. There's no Christianity yet. There's just Judaism. And now you have Muslim. Muslim is followers of Musa. In In Islamic teachings, Musa is Moses. That's how they say his name, Musa. If you call yourself a Muslim, you basically saying you're a Muslim, like a follower of Musa. The Prophet Muhammad referred to himself as a follower of Musa. This is before Islam. And do you follow? You had the Hebrews. They following Moses out into the wilderness for 40 years. But they're not all on the same accord. So when Moses and whoever followed him went on their way after the calf incident, those that didn't go nowhere and got slaughtered, do you get it? And they got a problem a little bit. But they're still followers of Musa, but they just go in their own way in perspective, are left behind. And so you get my point. This is where Muslim start. When Jibril came to the Prophet Muhammad and beat him up, squeezed him up, he went back and told his wife what happened, and she told him that, or she brought him to her uncle or her brother, and he told him that that's the same angel that came to Musa and his peoples. You follow? Yeah, I never thought about that. You said, and all the ox call each other bulls. Yeah, especially if you go to Philly, they call each other bulls. Like they'll say like the young bull, and they talking about like, a young man. It's like I said in the past, even now, Islam is bull worship, calf worship. Just like Christianity is cattle worship. Y'all say y'all God is a lamb. Before y'all had man images of these things, it was the thing, like the lamb or the calf that was being worshipped. And so when you're dealing with Islam, you have your Muslims, your followers of Musa. This would have been Muhammad and whoever was following Muhammad during that time. It's like I tell y'all, Hebrews is Muslims. Like y'all got it all wrong in the daytime. So you see the brothers that call themselves Hebrew Israelites, they supposed to be Muslims. They not supposed to be teaching y'all the Bible. And this is why they look like Muslims more than Christians. Again, if you a Hebrew Israelite follower, you look more like a Muslim than you do a Christian. It's a reason for that. When women cover their hair like Muslims, you get it? There's a reason for that. If you go back to the beginnings of, all of this, and you go to the Moses, part of this whole story, well, this is how that happened. Meaning an ancient Hebrew Israelite would have been a Muslim, not a Christian that ain't even come to be yet. This is why Hebrews, when they stand on the corner, they be like, read. That's what Jibril said to the Prophet Muhammad when he was teaching him Islam or the Quran. He told him to read, then he squeezed him. Then he let him go and he said it again, read, and then he squeezed him. Now, when you go watch the Hebrew Israelites teach, before the brothers start reading, one of them say, read. It's like an ode to the beginnings of Islam. If you're a Hebrew Israelite, don't overlook what I just said. If you were Muslim, you can't. They know, like, that's the story of their prophet. Jibril squeezed him, told him to read. And now you fast forward it to now, you got your Hebrew Israelites, and this is how they start off, but they're just reading the wrong book. But it wouldn't matter because it's all wrong. And so it's a deep thing. Peace and wisdom, you Chef Shakur. If you are Muslim, you might want to, denounce all of that. It's evil. It's a religion that got to do with sacrifice. And for the most part, all the people in it, that's what they gonna be. Sacrifice. And so you had Muslim. You can basically say everybody was a Judaism. Judaism being, calf worship, no different. It's all the same. But I'm just explaining how it's separate. How I said like Christianity, Judaism, and Islam is all the same religion. That's how it's separated. When you deal with Moses in the wilderness and then he slaughtered like 3,000, I mean like 10,000 Hebrews, it was like a split. Some of them was there in the wilderness going their own way, and he carried on his way. And this is where you get the true knowing beginning to be split up into like religions. So when you're dealing with the Prophet Muhammad, he's a follower of Musa or a Muslim. That's what a Muslim is, a follower of Moses. Moses or Musa is like a cult leader, you could say. You get my point? He got a cult following. He would be the prophet and he would be the God that the people are following, Musa. At some point, all of this get overthrown and Judaism become Christianity and a Muslim become a follower of Islam. Whatever Prophet Muhammad, Moses, and all the people before those times had a knowing of, y'all don't have that knowing. Y'all have a new thing called Christianity and Islam, and they're both the same. And you get my point? It's not the same as the understandings of before. And that y'all worship men and all kind of weird things now. Yeah, Jesus wasn't a Christian. He was speaking against the Jews. Jews believe in Judaism. So if you're reading the Bible, Jesus is speaking against the Jews. He's not in agreement with them in any way. They sacrificed him. So let's say you a Hebrew Israelite, or you somebody that view yourself as, a true Jew. Well, y'all the people that killed God according to y'all. You follow? How you worship God and you the killer of it according to your own text. It's like I said, y'all worship, evil things, that opposite thing. But many people are not aware of these things. They just follow. They want to be down with something. When you're dealing with the blacks, they become Muslim in jail because they be scared they're going to get beat up. So, you can't trust nobody that's black and a Muslim because they turn Muslim in jail. And everybody know why you turn Muslim in jail. It's like Malcolm X. You can't trust Malcolm X was a real Muslim because blood turned Muslim in jail. Like, he had that perm in his hair. Blood said, you ain't washing it out unless you join the nation. So he said, all right, I'll do it. Nah, I'm just that's how they told it in the movie. Blood had that perm in his hair because, he wore his fried laid to the side. That strong Muslim dude came up, grabbed his hand and said, let it burn, nigga. That strong Muslim nigga was like, let it burn, nigga. He said, nigga, you better get your hands off. Nigga, you better get your hands off me. And that's when he turned Muslim. So I'm telling you, it's all when you're dealing with black people, they find Islam in jail, which is like, you don't find religion in places. You don't find God in those places. You get out of those low places and then, you seek from there. It's like finding God at the whorehouse. It's like finding a wife at the whorehouse. Finding God in jail is like finding a wife at the whorehouse. What sense that make? You go to the whorehouse, you come back talking about, I found my wife. One of the whores at the, you get it? You ain't got a wife. That don't make no sense. And so it's the same like that. You can't find God in jail. What the fuck? It's like saying I found God in crime. Oh, okay. So you did all the crime you could do till you got caught, and then that's when God came for you. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. So after you do all the crimes in the world and you get yourself jammed all up, this is when God comes and rewards you? Like, huh? And so you get my point? Most people don't pay attention. They ain't wake up yet. They still in dream. There's no Jesus and there's none of these things y'all talking about. I'm not sure how long it take a person to. Y'all heard about this character. You didn't see him. Nobody ain't left nothing about. You get my point? I don't know how people just lie to themselves day after day. I don't get it. But this is all allegory, meaning the Jesus character is not supposed to be a physical, real character. It's just supposed to be a character that take over the whole world. So everybody in the world know of Jesus and they view him as a god of some sort. It's like I said, Jesus is the Antichrist. The false YHWH. YHWH name ain't the Christ or Jesus. In the past, the God's name was YHWH, not Jesus, not Yahweh, Yahashua, none of that. It was YHWH. If you want to pronounce it, it's pronounced you. YH, yeah, WH, ooh, 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 ooh. Y'all learned how to sound out letters in school? Like I said, YHWH is pronounced you. And in the past, they had the true understanding of YHWH, which is what I just told you. It's a knowledge pertaining to you. It's not to say you are YHWH, but it's to say we all come from the you. You can say, if we're all one, we are the YHWH. We not one, so you, I'm me. You get it? You got all the yous you got here, all separated out. In that they become the self, the Satan or the I. And so we go deep, but I don't want to go into all of that. I'm trying to keep it on the Islam. Romeo Akbar said, why do some believe Allah and God have a different attributes despite similar names? You're not making any sense. I'm not sure why you think you are. Said, why do some believe Allah and God? Who are you talking about when you say God? You see how y'all got that title. Who are you talking about? The Christian God? And why would you think I would know that? Allah is God in Islam. So when you say, why do some believe Allah and God have different attributes? But you saying the same thing. What God you talking about? I get it. You're talking about Allah. That's Islam. Now, what's this other God? Who? What religion? What are you talking about? He doesn't even know. Y'all a little thrown off in the head. I guess you think I'm teasing you. I'm not. Your comment is so stupid, I don't know what you're saying. So I'm asking you. Then y'all freeze up like y'all being teased or something. Never looking like, oh yeah, my comment don't make no goddamn sense. What am I talking about? And so be clear, please. I don't be liking to break these things down for nothing. Okay, you talking about the Christian God. It took you an hour to clarify that. Let's get into the God's name so you can have some clarity, Romeo. In Islam, the God's name is Allah. ALLAH. When you're dealing with the Arabic language, al is the. So Allah is the la. Again, you got al message, al aziz, al this, al that in the Arabic language. And al means the. It always means the. In that, Allah means the and then la. Now, la is a sound like la 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 la. The God in Islam is basically the sound. La 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 la, like how they say God is the word. In the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, like that. Sound. Of course, in the past, they believed sound was the creator. They believed that because sound is air, and within air, you have the atoms. The atoms come together. This is the beginnings of the building blocks of life. So, sound is the creator, but sound is air. And of course, within air, you have atoms. And in science, that's the building blocks of life. Atoms come together, you get molecules or substance. Molecules come together, you get cells or thicker substance. Think like seminal fluid. You got sperm cells in it, cells, but the substance is thick. After that, you have organisms. That's like clay. You pull out your cheek, it's clay-like. And you get my point? But it's all simple. Like I said, in the past, they understood that sound was the creator, but they're speaking from that perspective. And so when you're dealing with Islam, the God Allah is the sound or the la, like la 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 la. Now, when you're dealing with la 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 la, that's the sound that the L makes, meaning you have the letter L, like Lucifer or anything else you want. Lie. You have the letter L. If I tell all of y'all, sound out the letter L, so then y'all all gonna say la 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 la. That's the sound of the L. La 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 la. You get it? A lot of y'all say no, I don't get it. Allah is the la. La is the sound of the letter L. In Christianity, the God's name is El. They spell it E-L. That's how you spell the letter L. If I say spell the letter L, y'all will say L, E-L. Like that. L is the spelling of the letter L. In Islam, la 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 la, that's the sound of the letter L. So in one religion, you have the spelling of the letter L. In the other religion, you have the sound of the letter L. And this is the name of the God in both religion. A rendition of the letter L, or an expression of the letter L. In Islam, the sound of the letter. In Christianity, they spell the letter. And this is why people get confused. They don't realize when they saying E-L, they're basically saying the letter L. Meaning if in Christianity, the God's name is L, but they don't put an L in their brain like the letter. They put E-L like how it's spelled. You get it? Like that. In that, in both religions, the God's name is L, the letter L. And that letter L has a sound, which is la. And when you say la, you talking about lie, meaning lie and lie is the same thing. La 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 mean you talking a bunch of bullshit, and lie mean you talking a bunch of bullshit. You get it? Meaning lie is the sound of the letter L. If I say sound out the letter L, y'all gonna say la 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 la. But what are you saying? L-I-E or L-A-H? It wouldn't matter because it's both the same. Bullshit. Again, in Islam, they worship calves. Bulls. Bullshit. Do you get it? In Judaism, it starts with the Bereshit, that part. It's all science. In science, you got deuterostomy. This is this is life forms that's born with an ass grow first. Like humans, our asshole come before our mouth. Meaning your asshole formed before your mouth, and that happened because if man have a mouth before he have a ass, he won't have nothing to shit out, but he gonna be eating. You get my point? If y'all mouths was formed before y'all ass, y'all would eat but wouldn't be able to shit, and y'all wouldn't stop eating because man greedy. So the ass is formed first. Like I said, in science, this is called deuterostomy. The book Deuteronomy is that. It's explaining that. And when you're dealing with deuterostomy, basically the cells that make the ass, they start migrating all around, and you get it? Doing the most. So, like I said, Deuteronomy got to do with that. The people migrating around and things like that. Yeah, La La Land. Now, where was I at? Oh, the god, El. So both religions worship the same god, which is the letter L. And the letter L is for lie, because that's the pronunciation of the letter. Now, I know most of you guys will say, okay, I don't get the point. The God in Christianity is lie, and the God in Islam is lie. But what's the point of that? It's like I said, it's about sacrificing souls, but you can't sacrifice the innocent because that ain't just. So you got to find a liar. See, this is how it all goes. Abraham, he was a sorcerer of old, meaning he dealt with the demons or the spirits. I don't want to go into how you summon them, but Abraham was a spirit summoner. He messed with the demons. Now, when you get up, when you summon these spirits and you get a pact with them, your soul belongs to the demons, meaning when you die, you're going to be in the dark abyss with those same demons waiting for somebody to summon you. Think like if you ever took DMT and then you went into that weird space and all them entities was there talking to you. Yeah, you're going to be there with them. You get my point? So Abraham summoning spirits, he's building a pact with these spirits. And of course, when you die, so you end up in that realm under the spirits. Now, of course, no one wants to, face that reality. So I suppose Abraham say, how about I sacrifice others in my place? Meaning if I can bring others to the spirit, then maybe the spirit let me out of my pack. And this is where the religion comes into play. Meaning the whole world gets sacrificed for Abraham's sake. Now, Abraham was summoning the spirits and he found himself in the pack with the spirits. So he say, I'm going to sacrifice other people to the spirits to get myself out. But here's a problem. He can only do it to those who are not honest or liars. If you say why, I don't see why would it matter if he did it with an honest person or a liar. Meaning Abraham got a pact with the spirits, but he won't trade places with somebody else. Not all the spirits, whatever, some of y'all are stupid beyond what I can fathom, but whatever spirit he got a pact with, he don't want to have to face the reality when he die, he gonna be, you get it? One of the legions under that spirit. So he say, how about I trade somebody for my place? You get my point? Of course, the spirits is greedy. They ain't letting him go. They liars. But they gonna tell him, yeah, bring all the spirits to me you can. Abraham got to bring the spirits to that. Well, Abraham got to bring the people to the spirits. You get my point? You sacrifice people to that spirit. But it ain't just if he do it to somebody that ain't a liar. See, if the question is posed to Abraham, why did you sacrifice those people to that spirit that you worship to get yourself out? He could say, because they liars. I didn't do nothing wrong. They believe that God could die for their sins, so I let them die for mine. How am I wrong? So when you're dealing with Christianity, they believe God gonna die for their sins, but that's not just. It's not just for anything to go down for something else that's guilty. But this is all a moral thing. Meaning if you ain't got no morals, then you gonna agree that something should die or go down in your place. And if you really ain't got no morals, you will go to the extent of saying God could. And so that's why the question was posed to old Christians. Do you believe God is your Lord and Savior and is going to die for your sins? Because if they agree to that unjust act upon God, then ain't nothing they got in the argument for they self. In that, let's say God asks Abraham, why would you sacrifice those people in your place? He could say, because they liars. I didn't do nothing wrong. I asked them if they believe God will die for their sins. They say, yeah. So I let them die for mine. Fair is fair. Like, that's why I tell all Christians, you believe God gonna die for your sins, but really you gonna die for the sins of something else. And it's because you a liar. Meaning you accept lie for your own self's sake. God can't die. But a Christian will take that lie because it serves them, or they believe it will. Meaning they believe they could sin and God gonna die for their sins. They don't believe don't sin, or your ass ain't gonna have no relationship with God. They believe something strange, which is I can sin and then God's gonna die for me as long as I say I'm a Christian and I believe that He is. But that's not the reality they gonna get. The reality they gonna get is they all sacrifices for, you get it, the God in their religion, which is big old lie, or which I will call as Satan. So y'all religions is Satan worship. Remember, Satan cast away. Y'all all the sacrifice for Satan. But it's just because y'all are liars. Y'all accept that it's okay for somebody to die for y'all wrongdoings. So what's wrong with y'all dying for somebody else's? And this is why I said God. That part. Let's say Satan is a God of the low things. So do you believe God of high will die for your sins? You say, yeah, I did wrong. He gonna die for me. So then it's good for you could die for the God of the lows. It's all fair. You can't say, no, it's fair that God could die for me. Well, why it ain't fair that you can't die for God, even if the God is the wrong one? See, in a Christian mind, they'll make sense of that and say, no, that's different. Ain't nothing different. The only thing different is a thing called truth. And like I said, people in religion, they don't accept it. They accept a lie because it strokes their ego, or it seems to benefit the self. And so that's what the religions was created for in the past. They was created to kind of draw the unjust in, the selfish people, the liars. And you get my point? Those souls will be the souls that sacrifice to, let's say, the great liar. And so it's a deep thing, but most people don't grasp. They get lost in the world and wanting to be accepted here, there. So they join this thing or that thing, not truly knowing what they're joining. But the evilness in these things is all around, y'all. You got Muslims running around talking about they killing for Allah. You can't kill Y'all sick in the head, man. And if you gotta kill something for your God, then I don't know what God you think you worship, but it ain't the right one. Death of no sort got anything to do with God. So if you serve in death in any way, you get my point? You unjust. Y'all put y'all deeds off on God. You want to kill people, so you say I did it in the name of Allah, but you just did it because that's what you are, a low down killer. It goes deep, but you get my point? We live in a world of peer pressure and many other things. People are dependent on others and all kind of things. So you get my point? People gonna fall into all kind of lies and falsehoods, and it's a sad thing when you get the truth of these matters. Melissa Morton said, listening to this is way nicer than the Diddy trial. I don't know how y'all could even listen to the Diddy trial. I have no desire to hear about people's, kinkiness, and you get my point? If the man like rubbing semen all over his chest, I don't want to know. You feel me? I'm not that type of person where I'm like, yeah, I want to. Whoever on the DL, let them, you feel me? Let them stay in their closet. Blood, I'm not gay, so I'm not desperate for niggas to be coming out the closet like that. It's not. I'm old school. Yeah, hide that shit under the rug. Nobody. You homo? Okay, go hide in the damn closet. Ain't nobody trying to be at the cookout. Niggas all gay. I'm asking you like, what you want on your Frank? And you talking about KY jelly? I mean ketchup. Ain't nobody. Let's do what he want on his Frank. He say grease. Huh? What? What, my man? Yeah, I want grease on my Frank. He whole spiced out. You don't even know what you he raw glizzies, you feel me? He gone, my boy. Y'all got the grass. You don't want to be at the cookout and ask no dude like, yo, what do you want on your Frank? And he hit you with the KY jelly and then be like, oh, I mean ketchup. No, bro, I heard you the first time. You sick. Dude is sick, I say. Let me shut up for they let me shut up for they flag my channel again. Block me off for good. Cancel me out. And if you homosexual, I'm just playing whatever. You know what I mean. Come to the cookout. Ooh, Franks. Yo, what you want on your Frank, my boy? KY jelly. I mean ketchup, mustard. The dude want grease. He wants you to give him a Frank with grease. No bun? You don't want no bun? Nah, he don't want no bun. He don't want no buns with his Franks. He got the buns. He say, no, I got the buns. Just give me the raw dog. If niggas out here raw dog in it. Out here eating raw glizzies, no bun, just in the hand. The poor way. Rinse that glizzy off and just get to work. I'm laughing at you, Dream Lavish. They did argue with I love Silas more than you do. Let's see who loves me more. Prostrate before your Lord. I tell him I hit him with the Muslim shit, man. Prostrate before your Lord. Let's see who really means it. See, in the past when you're dealing with Islam, you see how Islamic people they pray like on their hands and knees with their ass up. This got to do with them getting, compromised. And I don't know if it's still like that. You got to remember, y'all are not joining Islam. Y'all just watch online and then be like, I'm a Muslim. Y'all ain't like joining how it would have been the old way. But in the times of kings, you prostrate or bow before the king. And this meant the king would have went up, in you, raped you, molested you, or whatever the case may be, dominate you. It's a submissive thing. Like, you submit. In the daytime, y'all think bowing to someone is just a matter of, kneeling or bending over like Muslims do, but it have nothing to do with sex. But it do if you look at the positioning of a Muslim when they pray. In the past, they would have been getting their cheeks clapped, and they would have been submitting to the high priest or the king. This is why you got a lot of child molestation and things like that in Catholic worship. And in the Muslims too. They just don't be speaking on it, like they be getting raped, man. In these religions, people be getting raped. They just don't be speaking on it. And it's a deep thing. I'm not being funny when I say, like, in the past, prostrate before the Lord meant you was getting raped. And it was a dominating you thing. And it's still like that now. You got dudes that go to jail, and you get it? They get raped or molested, but it got to do with dominating them. It's like a woman. If you have sex with a woman, or you prostrate, meaning you go up in her, you get my point? There's nothing more submissive than someone coming into you. You follow? If I tell you kneel before my feet, that don't mean nothing. You could just lie later and say I never did it. But if I say kneel before my feet and then you get it, I'll put something in your mouth. Well, you ain't gonna be able to just walk away and be like, I'll just lie and say I ain't do it. That's different. I'll own you. You better watch your mouth and you better watch your step. Do you follow? There's fear involved if it's, let's say you get raped. There's going to be some fear involved there. And so it was a submitting thing in the past, meaning even if you go to early gangs, the gang leader was having sex with all the gang members, the guys. They was his boy toys. They do whatever he say because he's clapping their cheeks and all that. You go to your earliest gangs, your outlaw gangs. The leader was clapping all their cheeks. It's probably still like that. I know when you're dealing with the gangs in the inner city, the women, they still get, raped in, basically. Meaning a bunch of gang members have sex with one girl, and that's how she become a gang member. So all the girls you see that's gang members, that's how they became gang members. They just don't tell you that. Now, if you a girl and a gang member, please don't carry on. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. I'm 1,000,000% sure. I know, like, you can't lie to me, blood. I know exactly what you did in that staircase. And blew your cheeks out and your jaws out. 40 of the homies. It did you awful. And you did that just so you could be down with the set. Are you really down with the set? No. You just something that got prostrated, so to say, and dominated by the set. And so in the past, all Muslims would have got their cheeks clapped. I'm not sure if that's still how it works in jail, though. Meaning when these dudes is turning Muslim in jail, I'm not sure if they getting molested. You ain't got to become a Muslim to get molested in jail. So you get my point? You can get sauerkraut, sour cream and onions, peanut butter and jelly put in your butt. And you ain't got to be a Muslim. So that's why I say I don't know if they still raping dudes in jail, but in regards to Islam, but in the early church, in the early mosque, people was coming to join Islam and they was getting they cheeks clapped. And this had to do with the Lord, meaning the high priest or whoever was clapping their cheeks, you get it? It was putting that on the Lord. And that's how you became a Muslim or a Christian. You got your cheeks clapped out. And it's like that in a lot of things. Meaning, if you go to the entertainment world, a lot of these dudes is getting their record deals and all of that from getting their cheeks clapped. We live in a cheek clapping reality. Like, everybody wants to stick their dingaling in something, and they're using whatever little bit of powers they have to do it. Even if they got to lie and be like, "No, God is my cousin." I'm God's son. You have to have, you get it? They will say anything, blood, to put their dangalang in something. And so I done already told y'all, watch what y'all be coming up in, cause it's gonna come up in you. Like, I know, Solace, I want to be a Muslim. Cool. Make sure you got your bending over game down. To go up in your booty, like. Don't come telling me, like, I don't want to hear it. They're coming at me like somebody got a BBL. Can't sit down, sitting on pillows, cause your BBL hurt, but you don't got one. You just got your back blown out. Just playing. I'm just having a little fun, relax. It's just the funny part. That back blowed out. The back stroking, no water. Glizzies with grease. Y'all know. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You see how it's quiet? Muslims disappeared magically, but they still here. But you get it? That reflection is deep. And got them reminiscing on the moment. Say, I remember I prostrated before the Lord for the first time. Oh, what a feeling. Oh, what a feeling. Fart and doo-doo smells everywhere. Now, let me I gotta rub it in a little bit, man. Y'all silly. I don't pay attention to the things y'all come into. You got people right now that joined the gang and got raped and all kind of stuff. You get my point? People not desperate to jump out and tell people these things. But if you young, you get it? You keep your booty hole as safe as you can, because even if you in college and they like join a sorority, man, you watch your butt. Just I don't know why your parents ain't tell you this. I'm going to join this sorority, the Alpha Beta 5. Yeah, watch your butt and your mouth, because you get it? There's tests to be a part of these things. It's not like your religion where you just say, I'm down, and nobody check you on it. And so you get my point? You're walking around a whole bunch of people that got tricked in their younger years, man, and they scarred and locked in now because that booty, you know? They don't want that booty to get exposed. And that'll do to be a Muslim till he die. He say, just don't tell nobody. Like, don't tell nobody that you feel me. You buns your Frank. Like, the dude used his buns as the cover for his own Frank. Like, he franking buns. Dudes is out here franking buns, and I ain't talking about cookout food either. Make sure you hear me, you hear? Don't overlook what I just said. He said, what if I'm just getting my prostate checked out for cancer? It's like I told y'all. You live in a world where they trying to go in your ass. Y'all don't listen. I don't think y'all think I be playing. Even though y'all live in this, y'all asshole all stretched out right now. 60% of dudes, get it? Asshole been blowed out. But y'all will sit here and play dumb like, so you telling me when the doctor, if somebody could convince you, I have to check if you have cancer, let me stick my finger in your ass, and you fell for that. You're dumber than the girls that I used to date when I was younger. I used to tell them dumb shit like that. Let me stick my thumb in your butt. It feel good. Okay, they dumb. They little girls. They don't, you get it? They don't believe it, but they just like me. So they just play stupid. Like, yeah, okay, put your thumb in my butt. And so again, if you a grown-ass man, 40-something years old, and you let a man look you in the eye and say, let me stick my finger in your ass, it will help me to know if you sick or not. You dumb. They got x-ray machines and all of these things that can see inside of you. What do he need to stick his finger up your ass for and dig around? Why? That part. Because you're gullible and dumb and you let yourself get molested in the goddamn hospital. And so just go deeper than y'all grasp, man. All I could tell y'all is if you're a young man, you watch your booty hole out here. You got a whole bunch of tricks in life, and people are falling for these tricks because they followers. And so every man that went and got his prostate examined, he did it because he's a damn follower. He didn't do that because that made any sense to him. The doctor didn't show him, like, look, when I stick my finger up your ass, he didn't show him nothing to show, like, yo, this is true. If you stick your finger up my ass, you'll know. He just went along with the sticking up in his ass because he's a follower. All gullible as hell. I'm 43, so I'm sure y'all have heard that I'm at the age where you're supposed to get that. In that, I'm sure you know I've heard that I should do it since 40. I'm 43, so I've been hearing it for 3 years. That shit didn't work on me. Every nigga that told me that, I told him what I told y'all. Why would I let a nigga stick his finger in my ass because he said that's the way to good health? Do I look like one of these dumb thoughts out here, blood? Then you see the shame in their face because they like, oh shit, I never thought about that. And here I am telling this nigga, I let a nigga stick his finger in my ass. Yeah, you're goofy. It's a deep thing. I'm just telling y'all, if you're a man and you let the doctor stick this finger in your ass, you really need to question what you are. Because a lot of y'all gay. You just don't want to, you just don't want to read. You want to be gay for any reason you could. That didn't sound like a good idea to you. You did it because that's what you wanted to do. You've been dying. Been dying to get your loins straight. You've been dying to get your cakes clapped. You feel me? You've been dying for somebody to put some frosting on top of your cake. You go blew your cheeks out and let off on your cakes. All that white frosting on that. I know there's a ton of dudes that got their prostate examined right now. They looking for me. I'm beating this little nigga up. Maybe I did get raped, but I'm gonna beat him up. Blood, ain't nothing you could do to me gonna be worse than you got your finger put in your butt. You had a male doctor finger popped you. You look at your husband, you telling me I was listening to Wise Solid. Make sure if you married and your husband did this, play this part in front of him and just look at him. Scratch your head and just look at him like, what you think about this, babe? This is interesting what this dude is saying. And just watch his face, like, watch him act like he don't understand what he do. And then you tell him, why you ain't never let me put my hand in your ass? Can I try tonight? Don't say that. He might black your eye. I don't even get you beat up. I just want you to see, like, your husband, if you think that's the last time he visited his doctor to get his prostate exam, you high. Blood went in there the next week talking about, I think my prostate. I think the first prostate you gave me to work right. You gotta give me another one. Coming in there every week to get his finger popping on. No grease. He advanced. You don't need grease. Just he like Tank. Just put it in there. Not the boxer Tank, the singer Tank. He was on the Breakfast Club talking about chicks be licking in his butt. I don't know, it was getting spicy. I turned the channel, but I live in a sick world, and I hope y'all understand this. I'm just letting y'all know. You live in the world, they looking to get in your butt. And only the strong gonna survive. Meaning some of y'all won't last all the way to your 40, then you're gonna fall short at the doctor. You went your whole life protecting your booty, then got to the doctor and let him trick you out of it. You went to jail. None of them dudes could take your booty. You let the doctor take it. You could have let one of them dudes in jail. You could have let one of them dudes in jail clap you out. But when you're dealing with Islam, like I said in the past, that's a king thing. Everybody had to bow to the king. But this didn't mean like bowing how y'all doing today. It meant like bowing, but it meant bowing for something else. Like you was going to get penetrated. And it still carries on today. But like I said, a lot of y'all just proclaimed yourself a Muslim or a Christian. You didn't actually, you didn't actually, do anything the accurate way. You didn't go down to the Catholic Church and go talk to the priest. You didn't go down to the mosque and talk to the imam there. See what they got going on the days that they ain't preaching. And that part. You can't tell me when you look at these Arab Muslims, you don't get a thought in your mind like blood is a little spicy. The way they wear their sandals and, I'm going to say it again. If you black or even if you white, you're not about to tell me when you look at Arab Muslims in their little gowns and things, you don't think to yourself a little bit like they a little spicy, blood. I don't care what nobody say. I could see it like a little feminine-ish. Well, if you reflect on what I just said about the cheeks getting clapped, it make all the sense in the world when you see. You get my point? And that ain't no insult to Arabs. If you another race, you know what I mean. It crossed your mind before, but you probably just blew it off like that. They just delicate, like I don't know. But it crossed your mind like they a little spicy-ish. And so it's a deep thing. You got the Arab guy, he be playing gay in the Chicago store. He got a YouTube channel, he be playing gay with people. But it's like I said, you feel me? They already got their cheeks clapped and all that when they was young. They came up into this. The Arabs, they get their shit clapped early in the game. 7, 8, Before they get 10, they already, you feel me? They already got their pocket stretched out. They already got their pocket ripped. It's deep. You got to know what I'm talking about. Blue Claire said masturbation is healthy only if it's once in a while. Masturbation is perversion, like Trill Chris said, but you don't know. It's basically to say I need sex so bad I'll have sex with my own damn self. Now, none of y'all have to feel any kind of way. I'm sure everybody's masturbated at one time or another, but you get my point? Keep that in mind. You have sex with other people, then you could get to the point where you like, man, I'm just gonna have sex with myself. Like, how you get so lost in the ego where you like, all right, I'ma just have sex with my own self. I turn my own self on. Like, you get it? Because when you're beating off, that's what happens. You turn your own self on. At that point, you're perverted. You feel me? What else would you call it? What else would you call it when you having sex with your goddamn self? Like, make a bus in the room. It's just you in there. You bust in the room of a female. She just blowing out her own back. Let me shut up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, ladies. If you need any help with that, let me know. I won't be busy that much. Just let me know in advance. If you got a BBL, forget it. I heard jaw joints smell like. I heard y'all shit smell like they ain't even found nothing to compare the smell to. So that shit smell like the garbage, but it don't, cause the garbage ain't half. The garbage don't smell half as bad as her BBL. They say that BBL remove thoughts. You smell that BBL, you forget, like, you just start sneezing and forget, like, who you are, what you was doing. Said that BBL smell like fart, but nobody did. So you feel me? Now, who keep farting? It ain't nobody. That's that BBL. You that LL Cool J. That's that BBL Cool J. I'm sorry. I know chicks out there right now. You know how insecure you got to be to go get a BBL and then to get one, and you get my point, to then get teased about having one. That got to be, you feel me? Life crushing. That chicks out here get BBLs to then get teased about it. Don't get no BBL. You got to just wait till you meet the right dude. He gonna puff you up the right way. It's like I was telling one of my children's mother that they ain't had much of a body, but once I started blowing them down, they joints start getting nice, like right. I'm telling them, like, if you let a sloppy nigga beat it up, you gonna be all fat and sloppy. It's all on, you feel me, the dick. I got that workout penis. I give you a little bit of this, your shapes start getting together. If you fat, you start getting tight. Like, if you're a little bony, I'll put a little meat on you, you feel me? You can be looking perfect. Then you got the reverse to that, This is just a jewel for women. If you think I'm lying, you had sex before. You get it? You're going to come to realize, hold on, he ain't just make that up. That is true. You have sex with a certain kind of nigga, you be getting all fat and sloppy. You have sex with another kind of nigga, that body be looking right. That part. It's all in it's all in the Holy Ghost inside of that thing. Like, that seed is powerful, even if you ain't having a baby. You get my point? And good seed gonna fulfill you, and bad seed ain't. And they get that bad nut in you, then you be all sloppy and nasty looking. And women get pregnant by me, they look better pregnant. But then there's some chicks get pregnant and look disgusting. It's all on the pee-pee. You get it? Meaning it's all on that penile. That's why they call it the penile system. Because you gonna get raped in jail. Let me stop bothering y'all. You said, do partners fall more in love during or after sex? Food Claire said, I think you can reverse a BBL. Chicks with BBLs butthole ain't even in the right. They butthole was moved over. You don't know what's going on down there, blood. You stay away from that. That's how you die. That chick with a BBL, her butthole is not central. That joint is somewhere. Her butthole is on her left cheek, man. That's why you smell that. You smell that so easy like that, because usually that butthole be covered by them cheeks. They had to move that butthole to get that BBL in there. They had to move it so they could get that, so they could put that wax in there, you feel me? Now, let me get back to this deep video. If any of you guys want to give back, click the video's title. My links are there. Of course, y'all know I believe in balance. Those of y'all that are in religions, but you kind of grasp what I'm saying about your religion, you can always, come into the light. learn, the things I do, worship God right, but first, know what God is the right way. And so the first thing is ain't no titles or names for God. You have to know. Those that don't know, they have titles and names. When you know God, you can just express what God is. No name needed, because all the things here have names and titles. God is above that, meaning God is a force that controls us all. It control all the names and the titles. And so that's the first thing you want to get. That's the first thing you want to kind of lock your mind in on. Worshiping God by name in that way is not the right way. The best way, is to grasp what I'm saying, where you know what God is, and you get my point. You worship God a certain way, meaning y'all religions is an exploitation of a deep, deep truth, a old knowing. I still have that knowing, but it's for those that's not in religions. People in religions, they lie filled. So they scramble everything up, make anything they want to make it. Vauclair said, why are dudes obsessed with ass when all it has to offer is doo-doo? I mean, when you put it like that, I don't know. Outside of that, ain't nothing more, nice than a woman's fat ass. If it's real. Even titties don't measure up. I say it again, even titties don't match up to a nice fatty. And God knew what he was doing when he made booty, And the devil knew what he was doing when he made BBL. Let me shut up. God made ass, the devil made BBLs, and so you feel me? Know what you worship, you hear? Otherwise you won't be able to sit down. Let me shut up. Now, if you're a Christian or a Muslim, or any religion you can think of, you may want to accept the truth that you just got in this video and renounce it, for your soul's sake. When I say your soul, we're speaking of your mind. In your mind, it goes on and off, meaning y'all go unconscious and then y'all become conscious, and this happens daily. And you get my point? Some people gonna have eternal life or consciousness, and others gonna have eternal death, which is eternal unconsciousness, where they just in that dark voided space that y'all be in, where you don't even know you exist. And so you get my point? You don't got to get lost in the characters, understanding things. Y'all don't control when y'all fall into unconsciousness, and y'all don't control when y'all come out of it. There's a force above everybody that, controls when we come and when we go. And so you get my point? Don't overlook that. Meaning most people get lost in they talk and they forget about the forces that reign over life. Like that force that put us down and then raise us back up. And y'all religions is exploitations of these deep aspects of life that man overlook, that happen to him every day, so he learn. Y'all get repetitious talk to program y'all, but there's repetition in life and nature all around you to teach you when you pay attention. And I don't pay attention to y'all rising, y'all set. Y'all don't pay attention to the sun rising and setting. So you get my point? But these things happen every day, and they happen every day so that you learn. God or nature doesn't speak in word, it speaks in actions, repetitive action, and you have to pay attention. When you learn, you overcome. Meaning when you finally grasp what you see repetitively, you overcome it. When you grasp unconsciousness and consciousness, you will no longer have to suffer the ping-ponging in between these two. You will ascend off into a greater state of consciousness, so to say, because there's levels of consciousness, states of awareness. And so, of course, y'all know my teachings is the higher self. This is the way to God. Make sure y'all give back. And make sure you get yourself a one-on-one in regards to, the higher self and understanding God the accurate way. You can't Google anything that I'm speaking of, so you don't need to waste your time. I don't use other people's words. Other people's use mine. So I'm saying that so you don't confuse yourself. You Google higher self, I don't know what you're going to find, but that start with me. It's like the sperm is the spirit. If you Google it, I don't know what you're going to find, but y'all all know that start with me. In that, you Google it, I might not come up. Something else might come up. It might be a whole sperm is the spirit cult now, but you get it? That's some lost shit where they just made up whatever they want. They don't got nothing to do with the source of the thing. So it's the same with higher, self. It's a word that I use, to explain God. Some of y'all seen that video, the first one. All there is actions. It's nothing else, truly. Even a man's words is an action. Meaning if the man's words are not true, let's say the man's words is a lie, not truth. So this is an attack against you. Whenever someone lies or give you false information, especially when they do it on purpose, this is an attack against you. Don't never look at it any other way. Now I'm about to depart. Maybe I'll come back later and explain these demons and angels in that whole order. Now, if y'all have any questions, y'all can ask before I depart. Real Radiant said, have you heard of the coal mine fires in Central? I'll be spelling so horrible. Centralia, PA. What is the point of your asking me? Did I hear about fires in Centralia, PA? I'm saying that so y'all could see like how dumbed out the mind is. Y'all just ask anything for no reason. As if it matters. Said it looks like hell raising. Salam, all fires do. Now I'm about to depart. Salam, shalom. Enjoy y'all evening.